What's up, guys? I want to make this quick video to go over a few things that I had just on my mind that I wanted to share. And that just kind of just revolves around the fact that, and this is very sad to say, but most people will just never own real estate. Like, they just won't. And it's not because they can't, it's because they don't understand how the game works. Okay? They think that they have to wait for the perfect time for things to happen in order for them to take action. Like in 2008 when the market crashed, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm glad I didn't buy real estate. This is perfect because if I bought a house in 2007, now it would have been devalued. And then those same people who have that mindset of waiting for the perfect time have not bought any real estate since 2008. Even if they have, it's been such a minute amount where there's no impact on their life, right? So my thing is, my mindset is, I need to be moving as fast as possible and blitzing as fast as possible because that's something that I'm only able to control in my life. I'm not going to worry about existential activities and circumstances that are out of my control. I'm going to let God worry about that, right? None of my business. If the market decides to crash tomorrow, I did the best that I could in my time being with the cash I had liquid. And, if you do risk manage your positions correctly and the market does crash, you can double down on your investments and either refinance your mortgage or buy more assets at a greater discount. The point of the lesson is the best time to buy something was yesterday, or let's say 20 years ago, before 2008, and the second best time is to buy today. There's never going to be a better time to buy assets and get into equity, into ownership, and to buy real estate. So it's just it's this fear of when is the perfect time to buy, and then it's also the fear of debt. Okay, and I've seen this a lot. There's such a fear of debt, and there's no understanding of leverage. Okay, so the wealthy don't avoid debt; they use it. Warren Buffett was in an interview, and this guy's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and he was in an interview, and he got asked. He said, and this is someone this is one of the biggest, investors into the stock market or whatever, and he was asked in an interview, and the guy said, hey, what would you do if the market crashes tomorrow? How would you pivot from that? And would you keep buying real estate? And he asked the interviewee, he was well, are the banks still lending money? And the interviewer said, yeah, I mean, the banks are always lending money. So then Warren Buffett responded with, okay, well, as long as the banks are always lending money, I'm always going to keep buying real estate. Because you're only going to get it at a bigger discount if the market crashes. The banks are still going to be lending on the same terms, if not better, and you're going to get a better deal on an asset. So the wealthy, I realize, don't avoid debt, they use it. And I've been taught this for a very, very long time from my mentors. The banks want to lend on appreciating and cash flowing assets. Okay, here's an example. For a $100,000 house, right, require you to put $20,000 down, right? Because you don't need $100,000 to buy a $100,000 house. You can just leverage 80% of that, right? So if you put 20% down in a $100,000 house and the tenant covers the rest of the mortgage, or if you put it on Airbnb as a short-term rental and your guests cover the mortgage, you can now own an asset, get equity and appreciation from that asset as it grows over time, get the cash flow from that asset, have the tax benefits from that asset, use it as leverage, right, as collateral to buy other assets. So the point is debt can make you broke if you're obviously misusing it, spending credit card debt, a bunch of this shit out the ass, buying Gucci and designer and going on vacations. Obviously don't do that, okay? But if leveraged properly, debt can make you filthy rich. Because the way to become rich is just by two things, right? Is by, number one, having access to the education, the knowledge, and being able to apply it. And then number two, having access to the money. Because you need money to make money. Anyone that says, oh, you don't need money to start a business, they're full of shit. They're lying to you, okay? In order to fully scale and go fast in business, you do need capital, Okay, now there's some businesses that you can start with zero upfront capital, like wholesaling and even Airbnb management. You could be a property manager and manage Airbnbs. You don't need any money to start that. But to really like go full scale and start and scale a business at like 10x, you need money, right? So there's two ways I've understood and it's like a formula on how to become rich. It's having access to the knowledge and applying it, because you could be the most knowledgeable person in the world, but you can't become rich off theory. You have to apply what you've actually learned. And having access to capital. These two things combined will make you rich, because now you know where to put your money, now you know how to invest it, now you know how to leverage it. Like, you need to take those risks in order to get to that point to become rich. And that goes over like point 3. I want to go over like a few points on this video. Point 3 that I want to go over, right, is a lot of people, right, will never own real estate because they just don't like taking risks. Okay? So a lot of people stay in that mindset of like, oh, let me just rent a property. I don't want to buy a house. It's too risky. Let me just play it safe. Like, playing it safe is the riskiest move that you can make, not just as an investor, but like as a human being. Okay? Rent goes up every single year. Okay? Rent goes up every single year, and they match it based off inflation. So like a lot of homeowners, if you've stayed in a rental property, they'll raise rent on you by 3% every single year. Okay? If they're making money, the banks are making money, right? The only person who's not making money is you, because you have zero equity in that asset that you're living in, that you're probably cleaning, that you're probably repairing, that you're probably taking care of, right? So most people end up paying someone else's mortgage off for decades without becoming a homeowner. When in reality, they could pile some cash up, whether it's with a spouse, business partner, brother, sister, mother, father, friend, whatever it is, put it towards a house, either live in that house together, or take that house and turn it into an investment property and put it out on Airbnb and make double to triple the mortgage payments. Guys, I just bought a house. I bought a $700,000 duplex, $690,000 actually, in 2024. Okay? This duplex is a 3-bed, 3-bath on each side. A duplex means like there's two like sides to the building, right? So I combined both sides together. I listed it under Airbnb as a 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom property. I'm now doing close to, on average, $10,000 to $11,000 of revenue on this asset that I own. Okay, I only put down like $180,000, $190,000. All right, and my mortgage is like taxes, principal, interest, insurance. Like, my total monthly payment on this house that I own is only $4,800. So you do the math, right, on how much I'm making per month in profit. This is just one house that I own. So, like, the point is of what I'm trying to make here is, by avoiding the risk, you're guaranteeing yourself financial slavery. That's it. Like, there's not many guarantees in life, but the one thing I can guarantee you is, if you don't invest your money, you will be stuck in a pit of financial slavery for the rest of your life. I promise you, I can guarantee that. That's guaranteed, along with death and taxes. Those are the 3 things that you just can't avoid. Okay? So this is why 99% of people will rent in their entire lives, and the 1% will learn the rules, they will take the risk, and they will own the assets. So you have to understand, at the end of the day, like, people like me, I'm not better than you, right? I have blood going through my veins. I breathe oxygen just like you do. I live in Dallas, Texas, right? Like, my parents come from an immigrant family, but they immigrated here 35 years ago. I don't come from a real estate background. My parents aren't in real estate. I didn't have money. Like, I was dealt all these cards, and I figured out how to make the most out of it with the hand I was dealt. So just figure out where you're at right now in life. Okay? It could be in the worst financial situation ever. You could be in the best financial situation ever. Figure out where you're at in life. If you're working a 9 to 5, if you're working a job, like, at the end of the day, understand that, like, nobody is going to look out for you except for you, and just educate yourself. Educate yourself on how to make money, especially online in 2025, 2026. Like, figure out ways that you can make money online, okay, that will help you increase your net worth. So I just wanted to make this video. It's 9:10 on a Tuesday. I'm about to leave the office. This is something that came across my head that I wanted to share with you guys. But if you guys want to see any more types of content, let me know. Put it in the comments below. I love making videos for you guys and helping you guys out, and pretty much exposing like my journey and how I got started in entrepreneurship. And if you guys are looking to get into the Airbnb business or start and scale your Airbnb in 2025 or 2026, click on the link down in the description below. You can book a free consultation call with one of my advisors. We can jump on. Sometimes I get on calls as well to see how I can help you guys out. And yeah, let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video.